Hello, hello. Good evening. I hope you all have had a good day. I hope you enjoyed your holiday. And even if you don't celebrate holidays, I hope you enjoyed your day yesterday, regardless if you celebrate holidays or not. What's today? Friday. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you all have a great weekend. Hopefully you're off of work, but if you're not, that's okay because it's a blessing to be employed in a day and age where so many people are not employed. It's important that we remain humble and grateful for the things that we do have. Okay. For this video, I want to talk about reflecting, how important that is, you know? So I'm going to talk about what is end of year reflection? What is that? What does that even mean? Because ideally, throughout our year, we take time to reflect because we're constantly in motion, constantly making decisions, constantly interacting with other people, and just constantly having lived experiences if you're living your life. Because that's the goal, not just to be alive, but to be alive and thrive, which would mean you would have to live a bit, right? So I said, we can talk a little bit about some end of the year reflecting. There's always room for improvement. So I don't like to say, oh, New Year's goals, because we should be trying to be our best self on a daily. Now, I like setting goals in general, not just because it's going to be a new year. So I definitely subscribe to setting goals. And I don't have any like negative feelings towards setting goals for like New Year's goals either. But I definitely think it's important to have have certain goals you set for yourself throughout your year, whether they're little ones or big ones. There's always room for improvement. So yeah, I don't really look at this like a New Year's goal, New Year's Eve, or New Year's goal type of video. Just one where you can reflect on the year that you had. First of all, thank God that you even made it this far because there's a lot of people that didn't. There's a lot of people that were going at the top of the year. So if you are here, it's good to reflect on the type of year you've had, you know? And we live in a society, so it's good to reflect on what your part was in that society in the past year. Did you leave a negative mark on folks? Those are the positive things when people interacted with you. Was your decision making on point? Did you apologize to who you need to apologize to? and be sincere with it. Did you go left when you should have went, right? But hindsight is 2020. So a lot of times, depending on what the situation is, you don't think about those type of things until after it's happened. And then after it's happened, you still don't think about it until you give yourself time and space to sit back and reflect. Take a step back and reflect. And that's the only real way you're gonna get any clarity. So let's get started. End of year reflection is a purposeful review of the past 12 months to gain insights, celebrate achievements, learn from challenges, and set intentions for the future, often using prompts about highs, lows, lessons, gratitudes, and goals to turn experiences into actionable wisdom for the new year. Key aspects include identifying proud moments, recognizing personal growth, understanding, recognizing personal growth, understanding what worked, what didn't work, and defining steps for improvement, all leading to a clearer, more focused start of the new year. Okay, so that sums up basically what end of year reflection is. They gave us some key areas to reflect on. For those of you who are interested in taking a moment to yourself, or even if it's with your friend group, loved one, whoever, if you want to do it with somebody, these are kind of like just little guidelines as to how you could go about that if you choose to do so. So, key areas to reflect on. First one, accomplishments. Biggest wins, proudest moments, goals you achieve. The second one, challenges and lessons. Whatever hardships you faced, mistakes you made, and what you learned from them. Because we all make mistakes. But the gag is, do you learn from them? Because there's like a really thin line between making a mistake and having poor decision making. The third one is growth and change. How you evolved, new strengths discovered, whatever shifts in your perspective may have occurred. Because there's always room for growth. And our perspectives and outlooks on things don't always stay the same. As we get older, as we have more life experiences. So you really shouldn't be the complete same person with the complete same mindset that you might have had a few years ago. And a lot can happen in one year. A lot can happen in a couple of months. If you really want to keep it a bean, whew, and these things can really change how we look at certain things. So that's the area to reflect on how you evolved, new strengths you discovered, and what shifts in perspective you may have. The next one is relationships, valued connections, people who helped you, and how you showing up for others. Because unless you want to be a recluse, that means you have people in your life. If you're lucky and if you're blessed, you have people in your life that care for you and mean you well. You know, so that's something to reflect on. The next one is well-being. It's very important, most important one. Self-care. You take care of yourself this past year the way you should and need to. And I'm not talking about the vain things, because that's always a plus. You want to do stuff for yourself, make you feel good, get your nails done, hair done, dudes, get your hair cut, whoop-de-doo. But are you taking care of yourself? Do you even know what yourself needs in order to be properly taken care of? Joy, fun, and what drained or energized you. Energy is very important. You can't get it back once it's put out. So, what drained you over this past year? What energized you, gave you life, filled your cup? The next one is time and priorities. How you used your time. Biggest time wasters. Whew. And better balance. That's very important to sit and reflect on because that's another thing you can't get back once it's gone. Your time. And do you know how to balance yourself? Because it's a time for this and it's a time for that. Well, these are good ones. All right, the last key area to reflect on that they gave us anyway is things you are thankful for. What are you honestly thankful for? You know, do we spend enough time hyper focusing on what we are thankful for, as opposed to what we would like to have, what we feel like we deserve to have, should have, could have, whoop-de-doo, aka being low key, high key, ungrateful. What are you grateful for? Who are you grateful for? And if you're not sure all the way, it's a time to reflect and think about that, especially if you haven't been showing your appreciation for those people or things. You'll be able to walk into your new year with a whole new outlook on it, a fresher outlook, healthier one, a more productive one. Oh, Lord. All right, the next thing we're going to go over is how to conduct your reflection, how to conduct your reflection, excuse me. How are you going to get this party started? How to conduct your reflection. First one, first thing you do, you set the scene. Set the scene. Find quiet time and space, maybe with a journal or digital app. so that you can focus. Let's see what the next one is. The second thing you do, you review and brainstorm. Look back at your year using questions like those above, like the ones we already went over, focusing on feelings and experiences, not just lists. What did you experience in the past year? And how did you feel about what you experienced? So review and brainstorm. The next step would be identifying themes. Identifying themes. Okay. Notice patterns in your highs, your lows, and lessons that you learned. Okay, because you don't want to find yourself repeating the same thing, being caught in a cycle that is not healthy or beneficial to you and your well-being and your quality of living. Okay, if you don't, and if it's stuff that you need to fix with yourself that's affecting other people's well-being and quality of living, fix that too. In order to fix it, you have to be able to catch it and recognize it. So identifying themes, extract insights. What do these themes tell you about your strengths, weaknesses, and desires? Like I just said, you got to pinpoint these things in order to do something about it or learn from it. And the last way to conduct your reflection, or the last step to conducting your reflection, is to translate insights into concrete intentions, goals, or a single guiding word for the new year, focusing on what you want to repeat, change, or let go of. And that was planning forward. All right, so those we just went over the way that we go about conducting our end of year reflection. And then lastly, they give us some example prompts for self-reflection. I hope you guys are really able to get something out of this. And if you need more or if you're unsure of what I went over, then obviously, I always encourage everyone to trust but verify. Do your own research. It can't hurt nothing. Okay. But some examples for for example prompts for self-reflection, excuse me. The first one is, what were my three biggest highlights this year? What were your three biggest highlights in the last 12 months? And even if you can't come up with three or think about three, even if it's one. The second one, what was the most valuable lesson I learned? What was the most valuable lesson you learned in this past 12 months? What challenges did I overcome? And what strengths did I use? Did you have to overcome anything this year? Any challenges which required you to kick up? And if you didn't, that's a blessing. What am I most grateful for from this year? Out of the last 12 months, what are you most grateful for? What one thing would have made this year immeasurably better? Mm, mm. What would have been the cherry on the cake for y'all this year? And really think about that before you answer that to yourself or whoever you're going to answer that to. What one thing would have made this year immeasurably better? I just would have took the cake for you. And the last one, what do I want to do more of? And what do I want to do less of next year? Mm, this was very deep, especially if you don't sit and think about these things. I encourage people to take the time to sit and reflect and gain clarity. On a daily would be low key OD, but often. But I like this end of year reflection as opposed to saying, oh, I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna have New Year's Eve goals. Sit down and really take the time to reflect on the year you had. Because with God's willing, that may help you step into the new year a little better and fresher and clearer than you did this past year. I really appreciate anyone who took the time to sit and listen to me with their ears. I hope you all are able to get something out of this. Like I said, I hope you had a happy holiday. Hope everyone had a good morning. You're having a good evening. And I hope you have the best weekend. Thank you. I'm out of here. Bye.